Hey, good morning, everyone. Michael Fanning here, and this is Warm Up 403. And the other day, I had the pleasure of interviewing Diane Terry, who's a Wyndham agent in our Lakeview office in Seattle. And she just is a phenomenal communicator, but she's a great communicator because she has the ability to listen well. And she had mentioned a site in there called listen.org, and on there, there's a resource, and it's just a resource that just gives you the difference. It says, "Are you a listener? Right? Are you listening, or do you have poor listening habits?" And I thought today, just be good just to read these and just to see where are you, right? Where are you in being a good listener? And I think that a lot of us think we're good listeners, but the reality of it is we all have work to do. We all get better at listening. So let me just give you these. So I'm going to give you the poor listening habits first, and then I'm going to give you the good listening habits. So here, and it's just a list. It says, do you ever find yourself falling into any of these habits? Interrupting the speaker, right? So before somebody's finished speaking, you jump in and interrupt them. Avoiding eye contact, not looking directly in somebody's eyes. Hijacking the speaker's message with, "that reminds me," or "that's nothing, let me tell you about this," right? We call those topper stories, or wanting to be the center of attention. Making assumptions, assuming that what somebody's saying, you know what they mean before you actually hear everything they've said. Reacting emotionally, right? Taking something like it's impacting you, right? You take it personally, if you will. Faking attention, right? Faking attention. And then the last one is succumbing to internal and external distractions. So your phone, things around you, right? Those types of things. And so those are the things for poor listening habits. Now let me give you, are you a listener? Here's good listening habits. Here we go. Are you giving the speaker 100% of your attention? Right? So 100% of your attention. I know, for example, when I teach, we'll have a room full of, 100 people in the room, and I can look around, and there's some people that are really good listeners, and there's some people that are trying to do two things at once. You guys, definition of multitasking is doing two things poorly. Are you listening to understand rather than listening to respond? That's a big one, right? A lot of people, when you're listening to respond, you're not hearing anything because what you're thinking about is your response, right? Have you opened your mind to receive what is being said, right? So are you in judgment? Are you assuming those types of things? Have you rejected the temptation to prepare your response while the other person is speaking? Have you said, I'm just going to be an open mind right now. My mind is going to be open. I'm going to listen. And then after I'm done listening, right, and then asking a few questions to make sure I heard what I heard, then I can have a response. Are you open to changing your mind, right? So when someone's talking, have you ever thought, well, that's an interesting concept. I've never thought about it that way. Are you aware of what is not being said as well as what is being said, right? So what we talk about here is the message and the meta message. The message is the words. The meta message is the meaning of the words, right? And it's the stuff maybe that's not being said, that's being assumed in that way. Okay. Are you taking account of the degree of emotion attached to the words? Right, so with inflection and tone, you can determine emotion attached to the words. Are you aware of differences or similarities, cultural, age, gender, between you and the speaker, which may influence how you listen? And I loved it on the podcast that I did with Diane. She talked about this. She talked about, cultural differences, gender differences, those types of things. Are you giving signals to the speaker that you are listening? Head nods. Are you nodding? Are you smiling? Are you moving your head back? Yes, I understand that, right? Are you giving those types of visual cues that you're listening? And then are you valuing the speaker and the experience they have gathered in their life so far? So when somebody's speaking, they're up there for a reason, or when they're talking to a group, they're there for a reason. I mean, do you understand the experience that's been brought to the table in that capacity? And you might be in the same boat, right? So those are the differences between being a good listener and being a poor listener. And if you want to find this list, you can just go to listen.org, go to their resources, and there's a list there. You can get that list. You might want to just keep this list in front of you. I know I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep it with me and just ask myself on a regular basis, hey, Michael, are you being a good listener or are you being a poor listener? And I know that I've got work to do. We all do. All right, everybody. Hey, make it a great day. Be awesome. Help somebody. Talk to you later.